listening to Her Profit Era, the podcast for founders who want a business that actually works, a business that's profitable, predictable, and pays them well. I am Cindy Kumar, a CPA, a fractional CFO from Abbotsford, BC, Canada. I'm the person founders call when they're tired of high revenue months with no money left over. I started this podcast because too many founders were chasing sales while their margins, cash flow, and bank accounts told a completely different story. I believe profit and money in the bank is the standard, not a bonus, and that every founder deserves clarity around their numbers. Each week, you'll get real financial strategy you can actually use and honest conversations with founders and industry experts about what it really takes to build a business that lasts. Today, I want to share some client examples of some tax wins. So I had a client, she's in the creative space. She has a corporation, but she had some self-employed income this tax season. And she owed about 3K in taxes on that. And most of her expenses we had already claimed in the corporation. But we got on like a call, 30-minute call, talked about expenses she could claim against that income. And we claimed her home office. And that brought her taxes down from like 3K to $200 with just like a 30-minute conversation of what we could claim against her income. Now, another client I worked with, her old accountant didn't tell her to incorporate until it was like too late. And she had about like 200K in self-employed income, was paying a lot in taxes. And she wanted me to audit her like previous tax year's tax return because she thought her accountant had missed off on like tax write-offs that weren't claimed. Well, she sent me like her previous tax return. I got her bank statements. She paid for a lot of expenses personally as well that weren't in her like business bank and credit card account. So I went through all of those. We ended up amending her tax return, and as a result, she got back $24,000 in taxes. So her old accountant had overstated her income and she paid $24,000 more than she needed to. And then at the same time with GST, there was about 6K that was overstated as well. So like as a result, she got 30K back from CRA just with her accountant missing off on like tax write-offs. Number three, a client scenario is I had a client, beauty space, making good money. She works from home, lives at home, mid-20s, and she makes a comfortable amount of income from her clients, has very little expenses since she like works from home and doesn't have to pay her parents rent. Well, her previous accountant was like her family accountant, so he didn't really explain like how corporations work and if it made sense for her. She wasn't spending as much as she was making, and she was saving like more than half of it. So when you're self-employed, you're paying taxes on your entire income, regardless of how much you're spending of that money. So let's say, for example, her income was 100K. Well, she's paying personal taxes on that 100K, regardless of her only spending like 50K of that. So instead of being taxed on just like 50K, she was being taxed on the full 100K as a self-employed business owner, reporting that income on her personal taxes. Well, I helped her incorporate, and as a result, she saved 13K in taxes alone by just switching her structure. And this is why it's so important to like sit down with a professional, understand what's going on in your business, understand tax planning, tax perspective, what you can write off, because you can see the tax impact. Client one, she saved 3K in taxes with a 30-minute phone call with me. Client number two, 24K in taxes and then 6,000 in GST. Like that's 30K. And client number three has saved 13K by just switching over her corporate structure. And this is why, like, it's so important to find a good accountant that can look at your overall like financial picture, can look at like your 3 to 5 year goal. What are you planning to do? What does your lifestyle look like? What does like your business look like? What's really important to you? Because there's so many like accountants out there that just do tax filing alone. And I could have easily done that for all these clients, but I don't work like that. Like, I'm really invested in my clients and supporting them. And like, once you know what you can claim and you're working with the right person that has like the best interest, you know you're in good hands. So, if you're listening to these stories and you're like, maybe I overpaid in taxes, or I did this, or I don't know what I can even claim, really take the time now to look for a new accountant. So now that it's off season, it's a perfect time to start doing your research. Look on Instagram, look at websites, look at local accountants in your area, and then like book calls with them. Ask them what kind of clients they work with. What does the process look like to work with them? Do they have like different accountants working on your files every year? Or do you get to talk to them directly? Ask them questions about, do they factor in like your personal life, your personal structure, and like even cash flow projections, profitability? Do they support you with all of that? Because it's more than tax filing, guys. Like, accountants can do so much for you, but it's also your responsibility to look for that. Be curious, ask the right questions. Because for me, it's always been more than tax filing. You can talk to like any of my clients and they'll tell you the exact same thing. Like, I'm asking them, are you planning to buy a property within the next 3 to 5 years? Are you looking for ways to earn passive income? Are you interested in private lending? Do you have like health insurance, life insurance, disability, critical illness, all those kind of things? I'm writing like my last estate planning exam. So I'm going to be talking more about that with my clients. And it's just like, you want someone invested in your business as much as like you're investing in working with that person. And for me, it's always been like a holistic approach to like finances, taxes, wealth building. Like, I'm in it. Like, my clients will tell you that I'm always like messaging them, like, oh, like, try this, do this type of marketing, or doing that. Things that I've learned from like the Hormozy workshops, the books I'm reading, the personal development I'm doing. Like, it's not just for me, it's also for investing that same energy into my clients as well. So now is a perfect time to understand your tax write-offs, what are your goals, doing tax planning on a monthly or quarterly basis, and finding the right accountant to support you. So I just wanted to share these examples of like the impact it can have, understanding your tax write-offs, working with the right person, and just having a basic understanding of like how taxes and everything works. So that's it for today's episode. I'll see you next time. If you're a founder who wants real strategy, not noise, and you want someone in your corner helping you build a business that feels aligned, is profitable, and actually supports your life, you can apply for CFO on Call. This is my one-on-one financial partnership for established founders, typically making between $500K to $2 million, who want clarity, who want structure and confidence with their numbers. The link is in the show notes so you can schedule a profit strategy call, or you can DM me CFO on Instagram at @CindyKamar and I'll send over all the details.